Envision a realm where the mere utterance of a tribe's name instills fear, even in the hearts of the most valiant warriors. Among the many powerful Native American tribes, three emerge as particularly formidable and feared. These indigenous fighters were renowned for their relentless ferocity, overcoming challenges with a savagery that left their adversaries quaking in terror. Let us explore the captivating narratives of these tribes, beginning with the Comanche, often dubbed the Lords of the Plains. Their name, derived from the Ute language, translates to anyone who wants to fight me all the time, or simply enemy. The Comanche trace their origins to the Shoshone tribe in the Great Basin of the western United States, sharing linguistic and cultural connections with other tribes due to their Uto-Aztican language roots. The arrival of horses brought by European settlers, particularly the Spanish in the 16th century, transformed the Comanche way of life. Through strategic exchanges with neighboring tribes, such as the Pueblo and other plains tribes, the Comanche acquired horses by trading valuable items like buffalo hides and captives. This expertise in horsemanship propelled them to a position of dominance, instilling fear in all who encountered them. As we delve into the histories of these tribes, we will uncover tales of their valor, tactical intelligence, and the significant influence they exerted on the North American landscape. Join us on this exploration to reveal the untold stories of the most feared Native American tribes, whose mere names commanded both respect and dread from friends and foes alike. With their innovative approach to mobility, the Comanche swiftly became skilled horsemen, leading to a considerable expansion of their territory beyond their mountainous homeland, adjacent to their Shoshone neighbors. The Comanches ventured into the expansive plains of eastern Colorado and western Kansas, driven by the abundance of buffalo herds that provided vital resources for their survival and commerce. In this new environment, the Comanches became highly skilled horsemen, utilizing horses for a variety of purposes, including hunting, trading, and combat. The horse transformed into more than just a mode of transportation. It became a symbol of status and authority within Comanche society. The community was renowned for its horsemanship, with children starting to ride at a young age. Both men and women honed their riding abilities, showcasing their proficiency with horses. A remarkable feature of the Comanches' connection with horses was their extraordinary talent for capturing and training wild ones. Upon sighting a wild horse, they would skillfully throw a rope around its neck to secure it. After capture, they would apply pressure to the horse's neck until it became fatigued and fainted. The captor would then approach the horse, gently blowing into its nostrils to bring it back to consciousness. Following this, they would groom the horse, removing any stray hairs from around its eyes. A headstall, a specific piece of equipment, would be fitted to assist in controlling the horse. The wild horse would then be paired with a gentle mare, fostering a connection between them. The handler would gradually introduce the horse to human presence. After several days, the horse would be released, but would often choose to stay close to the mare, mimicking her movements. When it was time to ride, the handler would lead the horse into deep water or a sandy-bottom creek. This method not only reduced the horse's resistance, but also cushioned any potential falls if it managed to throw off its rider. This account comes from William Blakemore, an Englishman who spent 8 years with the tribe. While they may seem slow and awkward on foot, their grace on horseback is extraordinary, making them some of the most adept and daring riders globally. In battle, they charge at their enemies with terrifying war cries, hiding their bodies except for one foot behind their horses, which allows them to shoot bullets or arrows accurately over and under the horse's neck. Each warrior has a preferred war horse that he values and rides exclusively in combat. The women of the tribe are equally courageous, participating in riding and hunting, capturing antelope, and taking down buffalo. The Comanche tribe grew rapidly, establishing themselves as a powerful force in warfare. They were fiercely resolute and notably violent towards their enemies. After Spain acquired Louisiana from France following a major conflict, Spanish soldiers reported the unparalleled horsemanship of the Comanche and their evident fearlessness in battle. The Comanche were not interested in peace treaties. Renowned for their bravery and tenacity, many European settlers fell prey to the Comanche, leading the French, Spanish, and Americans to believe that conquering their lands was nearly impossible. Their ferocity was so pronounced that it effectively stalled Spanish expansion for almost 50 years. General James Wilkinson of the United States characterized the Comanche as the most formidable indigenous group on the continent. Initially labeled as horse thieves, the Comanche earned a fearsome reputation due to their relentless raids, which were so intense that northern Spanish and Mexican settlers referred to them as the Comanche Moon. These brutal nighttime assaults were marked by their savagery. Numerous Comanche warriors on horseback would launch attacks on Mexican settlements, leading to the massacre of men, the kidnapping of women, and the theft of horses. When European settlers entered their territory, the Comanche would ambush them, take their horses, and later sell the stolen animals to the Spanish-Mexican Empire or American buyers. Despite an estimated population of around 40,000, each Comanche typically owned 2 to 3 horses. In Comanche society, young warriors were expected to demonstrate their valor through frequent raids, showcasing their ability to kill and steal. This practice was the primary avenue for gaining prestige, wealth, and respect within their families and tribes. It allowed them to display their strength and skill in maintaining their challenging lifestyle, which was deeply embedded in tradition and customs. Notably, Comanche women were infamous for their skilled and relentless methods of torture inflicted upon captives. Once a captive fell into the hands of a Comanche woman, they would fervently wish for death. S.C. Gwynn, in his book Empire of the Summer Moon, which details the rise and fall of the Comanche, claims that no other tribe in the history of interactions among the Spanish, French, Mexican, Texan, and American peoples in this region has caused such widespread destruction and loss of life, with no close competitor. Gwynn vividly illustrates the brutal immorality that defined Comanche attacks on white settlers, where acts of torture, murder, and gang rapes were prevalent. He explains the grim rationale behind Comanche raids, noting that all men were killed and any survivors faced torture. Captured women were subjected to gang rapes, and tragically, infants were often murdered. T.R. Fehrenbach recounts a harrowing incident involving the Parker family, early settlers residing in Fort Parker, in his historical account Comanche, The History of a People. The tragic demise of the father and son duo unfolded before the eyes of the women present. John Parker endured a horrific fate, being brutally incapacitated, scalped, and subjected to severe mutilation. Granny Parker was stripped of her dignity, impaled to the ground by a lance, and forced to endure unimaginable assaults as her screams echoed around her. The Comanche were infamous for their cruel methods of torture, which included roasting captured American and Mexican soldiers alive over open flames. Many captives suffered castration and scalping while still alive. One particularly agonizing torture involved bearing victims up to their chins and severing their eyelids, leaving their eyes exposed to the relentless sun until they perished from starvation. Historical accounts also recount the Comanche staking naked male captives over mounds of red ants, a gruesome act often preceded by the removal of the victim's genitals, which were then placed in their mouths and sewn shut. In another brutal method, captives were sewn into untreated leather and left to bake in the sun. As the leather dried and constricted, it gradually suffocated the individual. T.R. Fehrenbach references a Spanish account that details the Comanche torturing Tonkawa Indian captives by burning their hands and feet until the nerves were destroyed, followed by the amputation of these limbs and a repetition of the burning on the fresh wounds. The Tonkawas, who were scalped alive, also had their tongues forcibly removed to silence their cries. Before we explore the next most lethal tribe, we invite you to give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. The Iroquois Confederacy, also known as the Haudenosaunee, or Six Nations, stands as a remarkable example of indigenous political and social organization in North America. The origins of this powerful alliance can be traced back to a complex process involving the collaboration of various tribes, including the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. The Mohawk, situated in the eastern region, were acknowledged for their strategic location and their engagements with early European settlers. The Oneida, hailing from the Great Lakes region, along with the Onondaga, located in central New York, added to the Confederacy's geographical and cultural diversity. The Cayuga and Seneca, residing to the west and south respectively, further enhanced this alliance with their unique perspectives and contributions. The term Iroquois does not stem from this confederacy. Instead, it was coined by the Algonquin tribes, who were prominent rivals of the Confederacy. They labeled them as Iroquois, which translates to rattlesnake, due to their exceptional skill in stealthily approaching enemies and executing rapid, deadly strikes. By the time adversaries could respond, many capable warriors would have already been defeated. The Iroquois were recognized for their combative nature and frequently sought to expand their territory through raids on rival tribes. They successfully overcame numerous Native American groups, instilling fear among many. The Huron, Erie, and Susquehannock tribes were among those significantly affected by these incursions. From a young age, Iroquois youth underwent military training, honing their skills with bows, arrows, spears, and clubs. During their teenage years, they actively engaged in raids against rival Native American tribes and at times white settlers. This upbringing fostered a ruthless disposition, as they fought with little emotion, motivated solely by the pursuit of victory. Demonstrating military prowess not only garnered them respect, but also enabled individuals to ascend to the esteemed position of war chief. A grim aspect of Iroquois warfare was the treatment of captives, who often faced the harrowing ordeal of running the gauntlet, a brutal ritual that forced them to sprint between two lines of Iroquois warriors wielding thorny sticks and branches, subjecting them to severe physical punishment. This practice vividly highlighted the intensity of intertribal conflicts and the strict military culture that characterized Iroquois society. The Beaver Wars, which took place throughout the 17th century, marked a turbulent period for the Iroquois Confederacy as they fought in numerous skirmishes to expand their territory. A notable success during this time was the defeat of the Susquehannocks in present-day Pennsylvania. Furthermore, the Iroquois inflicted significant damage on the Huron tribes around the Great Lakes, thereby reinforcing their supremacy in the region. By the early 1700s, at the peak of their influence, the Iroquois governed an extensive area stretching from the western parts of Illinois to the northern sections of Michigan, extending southward to the hills of Tennessee. What set the Iroquois Confederacy apart was their remarkable capacity to maintain cohesion among the various nations within their alliance. This unity was particularly apparent during the French and Indian War, when all Iroquois nations rallied in support of the British. This situation reflects the biblical saying that states, "And if one prevails against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken." Indeed, unity can create a formidable nation. The Apache people are part of the southern branch of the Athabascan group, whose languages belong to a broader family spoken across Alaska, Western Canada, and the American Southwest. Different Apache tribes occupied a territory that spanned from the Arkansas River to northern Mexico, and from central Texas to central Arizona. The Apache not only survived but thrived despite being surrounded by powerful empires. By effectively navigating the challenges posed by Spanish, Comanche, Ute, and American influences, the Apache exhibited remarkable adaptability in their harsh environment. Successfully addressing the challenges posed by Spanish, Comanche, Ute, and American influences, the Apache exhibited remarkable adaptability in their demanding environment. They became skilled in mobile guerrilla tactics, employing both traditional bows and the modern firearms introduced by European forces. It is reported that Apache warriors could release several arrows in a single motion while expertly riding horses. The survival strategies of the Apache were closely tied to their exceptional skills in stealth and surprise, which were fundamental to their military prowess. Essentially, they were masters of ambush. This capability allowed them to execute sudden and unexpected assaults on their foes, catching them off guard and ultimately diminishing their morale. Apache warriors, adept at launching surprise attacks, would swiftly emerge from hiding to deliver accurate strikes before retreating into the familiar landscape of their environment. A distinctive aspect of Apache warfare was their extraordinary skill in raiding, demonstrating an unparalleled ability to cover vast distances at remarkable speeds. Whether on foot or horseback, this agility, combined with their strategic insight, enabled them to engage enemies effectively and withdraw before the adversaries could reorganize. The Apache people skillfully integrated Spanish horses and steel weaponry into their combat techniques, showcasing their exceptional adaptability. They quickly became proficient in the use of lances and knives, significantly enhancing their combat effectiveness. General Crook's characterization of the Apaches as the tigers of the human race aptly captures the formidable essence of these warriors. Their remarkable resilience and physical prowess enabled them to outpace cavalry while on foot, demonstrating an impressive level of agility and endurance. During battles, the Apaches showcased their outstanding archery abilities, releasing 7 arrows into the air before the first one landed, which reflects their swift and precise shooting skills. However, they displayed no compassion in their treatment of captives. Enemies often faced horrific fates, such as being skinned alive or burned, while the children of their adversaries suffered a tragic demise, frequently having their heads violently struck against walls. Their brutality was paralleled by a profound admiration for those who could invent new forms of torture. In summary, these 3 tribes will be remembered as figures that instilled terror in their opponents. We encourage you to share your opinions in the comments section below, and if you haven't done so yet, please give us a thumbs up. To stay informed about our latest content, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you.